Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. Ryan, aka BloodShot Airbrushing, and guys, a little less facial hair, but man, the sun is beaming and it is just too hot to be rocking that big old burly beard. So we're down to the goatee. Alright guys, today we're just gonna do a quick lettering. I know some of you guys have been asking, so we're gonna get it on down the line. Pretty simple. I drew up some Harley-Davidson lettering for this project. And I am going to get that on both sides of the tank and spray it with a candy red. Easy enough. I think it's pretty easy. I hope you guys agree. We should be able to blast through this one relatively quickly. Just for you beginners, just to let you know how I achieve it, there are multiple ways to do any situation. This is just one of them, and this is what I found to be the quickest. Alright guys, let's get on to it. Nothing to it but to do it. Check it out. Man, first things first, let's give this white tank a cleaning. Oh man, white, one of the hardest colors to keep clean. That and yellow. Alright guys, loosely map out where you want it, get an idea, and just fill that area with your tape. And where you've got the heavy overlaps, guys, this is where I just sort of run the blade, sort of pulling it back as I lift the tape against that edge. So I'm not actually pushing the blade down to cut anything, guys. I am just pulling that blade back as I'm moving the tape and just kind of pulling off that heavy overlap of tape. It's not the cleanest edge, guys. It's not like a super sharp cut, but it doesn't need to be, guys. I'm just getting rid of that huge overlay of tape. It makes it a little trickier to cut through it when you've got that double thickness of tape. And then, guys, I just chase it with my fingernails, burnishing that tape into the tape below it. That way there's no bleed through of paint. And I always do that, guys. Just chase those lines, make sure that that tape is pushed into one another so that that paint has nowhere to bleed through. And then measure, place it where you're happy with it, and it's a measuring game, guys. I guess I'm happy with that, so we proceed. Now, this is probably the fastest way I've come up with in order to get lettering transferred, especially when you're doing two sides of a gas tank. You gotta do the same letters. Now, I don't have a vinyl plotter, guys. Never have. Probably never will. I know it saves a bit of time, but there's something to be said for that hand cut. That all done by hand. No computers. No robots. I ain't no robot. Ah, dude, it's just done by hand. This is how I've always done it. I kind of consider myself a little bit old school. And, guys, it's cheap. Those vinyl plotters cost a pretty penny. This is just an Xacto knife and a photocopier, guys. Okay, maybe I do use a little bit of technology. Photocopying is a lot easier than tracing. Alright, maybe I should just stop what I'm saying. If you use a plotter, good on you. You're saving a buttload of time. I'm spinning my wheels in the 19th century. So be it. I'm okay with that. And you don't want to lose them, so be sure to cut out all your interior lines first, guys. And watch my hand. Right there, sort of pivoting on my knuckles, using my fingers as a fulcrum point, guys, to do these nice fluid cuts. And this is really important when you're trying to do these circles. Here's the other thing, guys. When you are doing these types of cuts, cut once. Alright? So if your line starts to go off as you're cutting, it starts to taper off of the drawn out line and you're getting a little bit off of it, just slowly pull her back, guys. I go pretty slow when I'm cutting, except when we speed stuff up. But I go pretty slow, and that way, if I see it starting to veer off a little bit, I can make micro adjustments. But what you don't want to start doing, guys, is be like, oh, that line sucked. I'm just going to kind of redo it. ah, no, that wasn't right. I'm just gonna redo it again. You get too many lines in there, guys, and you are chancing your base paint peeling up. And you don't want that to happen, especially if you're not the person applying the base paint like me. I farm all that out to auto body shop. Actually, my father, who's been doing this for decades as well. He does all my base coats and clear coats, guys. So along the way, when some of you are asking me some of these questions regarding some of the base coats, clear coats, primers, I'll do my best to answer them, guys. I'll even, if I need to, phone the dad and get his best input. But it's not my bread and butter, guys. I focus on just the artwork, and that's what pays my bills. You'll notice with some of these lines, if I, especially with the horizontal lines, guys, to keep these lines, these letters, nice and straight in line, I will do that whole horizontal line once, rather than being like, oh, I'm going to do one letter and possibly have that paper shift a little bit, and then do the next letter, and now that next letter is just a little bit lower. You'd be surprised what the eye picks up on, guys. And hey, while we're here, drafting lettering, guys, when you are doing your own letters, spacing is important, but eye spacing, yeah, that's pretty cool, hey? I'll cut out one stencil. Garbage. Spacing using your eye will always be better than spacing your letters using measurements. Some of these letters, W's, A's, you get these angles and they just don't sit. If you start to measure out an equal space between every letters, you start to get awkward spacing. So if you just kind of use your eyeball and do your best judgment, I'll tell you, you'll be better off than measuring out an equal distance between every letter every time. Every time, guys. And on that note, peoples, if you do want to design your own letters, keep in mind, your eye is a funny thing, and it does stuff, optical illusions, all the time, guys. So your letters with your curves, all right? So we were talking the angles before, the W's and the A's. Now we're talking O's, S's, C's, G's, anything with a top curve. Bring that top and bottom curve just a hair taller than the other letters. And you would be surprised, guys. It actually sits in there nicer than if you were to have it exactly the same height as all the other letters. I know, this is one of those tricks I picked up along the way. Here we are, guys. I cut through that masking tape, cut through that photocopied paper, and sometimes I don't register a fully clean cut. And every now and then I have to chase those lines ever so carefully, making sure you are on that same line. You know, again, what I was saying earlier, not to do double lines, triple lines. But if you're on that same line, you're okay. Just don't press too hard now because you know you've already cut prior. But this is the stage, guys. While you're peeling up this masking tape, have a fine eye, guys. Look at it. Make sure that you don't have any little pieces of tape that get left behind. If you want a real clean edge, well, attention to detail, guys. This is where you put that time in, and the results will show ya. And this is another one, guys. I'm just going to do one side of the tank here. I don't see much benefit of repeating the process twice for you guys. Just makes a really long video. Alright guys, there you have it. Now this would be the time to go over and fine-tooth comb it, man. Make sure that there is no little errors. Make sure all your lines are nice and clean. You're not going to get another chance at this. So do her now and then repeat for the other side, guys. And then paint. Alright guys, now what I'm doing here is my blue, brown, purple mixture. 5 drops of brown, 1 drop blue, 1 drop purple, and I am just giving all these letters just a little bit of a darker outline, I guess, so that the interior of the letters are a little bit brighter and they have a darker edge. This is a metallic paint that I am using for a base. So all my colors, guys, are going to be transparent, so that that metallic base fights through. Now again, with this base being white and the request for these letters being blood red, typically I would use a bit of a silver base if I wanted to have more of a blood red, more of a burgundy, when I'm using candies over top of metallics. And for those of you who don't know what a candy paint is, guys, they are urethanes. It's automotive paint, usually House of Color, and it's a transparent, but they call it candy because, man, you get enough layers of that over top of really anything, and it starts to look like, well, those hard candies that you would find in your grandma's coffee table, the jar that's been sitting there for 4 decades that nobody wants to touch, or Jolly Rancher. Yeah, just like a Jolly, not to be confused with the Jolly Roger. Yar! Nope. The Jolly Rancher candies, those suckers. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing, guys. You get enough layers of this paint on there, and it really does have that sort of candy look. So I'm guessing. No prior research went into this. I'm guessing that's why they call it candies. That's what it looks like to me. Enough said. Alright, guys. So, just to reiterate, guys, transparent. All the paints I'm putting on are transparent. I'm just trying to build up a little bit of a darker edge, and this is just going to make these letters pop a little bit more on top of the base, rather than just going straight red over top, which would have had a nice effect too, but I don't know, guys. If I'm going to airbrush it, I want to make it look airbrushed rather than just a sticker plopped on there, which it'll still kind of look like with the hard edges, but at least I know some time was put into this and it wasn't just hacked my way through it. Alright, guys, so speed this up so you can kind of see as I build up these layers slowly. It starts to get a nice little effect. Or again, darker to the tips and a little lighter to the centers. Once we apply that candy red paint, it's really gonna sing. And it's a shame with the paint sanded. So what has to happen, guys, is all my projects, they go to the body shop. They get primed if needed be. They get base coated, and then they get clear coated. Now, at that point, you could just give that gas tank, fender, whatever we're referring to, back to the customer, and he'd be a happy camper. But to do the artwork, what we found is best is to take that process all the way to the finished state, like I just mentioned, and then give her a wet sand. Usually wet sand with 600 grit wet sandpaper, and that takes off all the sheen to the clear that was applied. And guys, that's a little bit of a buffer zone, so that should anything happen with my paint and I have a big mess up and I must sand my paint down, well, that clear acts as a buffer so that I don't have any fear of messing up the base colors underneath. And this is the whole reason why we clear it, and all my artwork, guys, gets sandwiched between clear coats. So once we are done with the artwork, it goes back to the body shop, and then a final layer of clear gets put on, and even that will be wet sanded with 1200 grit wet sandpaper and then polished to a sheen. Not Charlie, that guy is polished enough. Alright, guys, I hope you guys are getting some of this. I know that little bit of real time for you kind of shows how the paint's being applied. You also saw me a couple times going with an Xacto knife just as I'm going, spraying the paint. Sometimes there's little chunks of tape that don't reveal themselves until you splash a little bit of paint on them. So you saw me pick a couple of those out too, guys. But if you have any questions, hit me up. Drop me a line, I will get back to you. So this is me testing out the candy red, guys, and now because I want a nice uniform coat, 50-50 rule, guys. There's nothing real extravagant about this process. Just taking your time, making sure your next pass of paint overlaps your last pass of paint by at least 50%. And repeat. And repeat. And repeat. Alright guys, speed it up because it's pretty boring. But once you've got your first layer on, you can go on, you can do another layer. You can darken it up if you're not quite happy with that color. Now again, we're going for a blood red on this one, guys. So, even though I did go in with that blue, purple, brown to darken up my edges, it still has a little bit of a brown feel. So what I am doing is I am just going over all of my edges with my candy red, darkening it all up, making sure I'm happy with all the tones. And, you know guys, there's no right or wrong when you're talking art. It's all personal preference. That's what I love about my job, guys. Can't nobody tell me I'm doing it wrong. As long as the customer's happy at the end of the day, then I know I've done my job right. And guys, I'm darkening up the bottoms of the letters a little bit. And again, this is just something to add to the flavor of it all, just so it's not a little boring and mundane. Just give it a little more flavor. Flav. Yeah, that just happened. Alright guys, back to work. So as you can see, once I've done the Harley and I'm on to the Davidson, same type of thing. Darkening the edges, just making sure that I get some nice, deep, rich red tones. Doing a little bit of back pressure there, guys, where you pinch the nozzle and you just kind of allow that paint to mix back in the cup. And I guess the knuckles mean we're done. Alright guys, there she be. All that's left to do is repeat onto side 2. Okay. Bonus. Looks like somebody already did it for me. Now, if only I could have all of this masking tape off. Oh yeah, guys, check it out. Oh, wait a minute, man. You missed a piece. That's better. Alright, guys. There you have it. Some quick little lettering. Uber clean. Just like from the factory. But better. Because it's a one of a kind. Alright, guys. All I gotta do is slap a little signature on there. Ain't gonna bore you with that. And we're gonna call this one done. Yeah. Whilst I'm off giving myself a big ol' pat on the back, check it out. Harley-Davidson. By BloodShot Airbrushing 2018, copyright approved. And, oh, dude, it's, backwards on their side. Maybe they won't notice. Alright guys, and that is it for this one. I hope you learned a little something. If you have any questions, you know the drill. Drop me a line and I will get back to you. Alright guys, for this one, that's a wrap. And for all y'all, as always, like, follow, subscribe. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Cheers. And here you guys go. Clear coated, polished. Look at her sparkle. Ooh-wee. Side 1, side 2. Oh, gotta love those candies, man, with a metallic underneath it. Can't beat it. Oh, yeah. What do you guys think? And that's it for this one, guys. Hit me up with your comments, questions, and don't forget to check out my other vids, guys. Airbrushing hacks, beginner tutorials, and plenty of projects coming on down the line. Cheers.